Good morning, everybody. I hope this video finds you well. Today, the subject that I want to talk about has to do with Chinese geopolitical global strategy, or in other words, the Grand Chessboard. This comes at the heels after Nancy Poliski violated Chinese airspace, violated Chinese sovereignty, and flew into Taiwan anyways. American media is having a field day. A great day for democracy, they say. Drudge Report and MSN and all the American government outlets, like Politico and CNN and BBC, all these things that are funded by the United States government are all saying how wonderful it is. And I'm here to tell you that everybody has fallen into the Chinese trap. You are all fucking fools. And I'm going to explain why. But first, I'm going to have my morning slurp of coffee. It's from Burger King, and no, I do not get paid for this a little blurb, okay? I'm doing this out of pocket, and I'm going to have my morning slurp and give you guys a little bit of an update. I've been getting a bunch of concerned emails, concerned messages. What happened to the articles? They can't find me on LinkedIn anymore. They say I'm deleted. They can't find me on Gab. They can't find me on Free Republic. They can't find me. All right, guys, I've been banned everywhere. Nobody wants to hear what I have to say. I haven't been banned on Bluehost yet or on WordPress, but that's only a matter of time. Eventually, I'll migrate to complete 100% Chinese servers, but for right now, I'm limping along. I'm on YouTube and I'm Patreon, but there's many things that are taboo that I cannot speak about. Or if I do mention them, I have to say so in a roundabout way. That's what freedom is in the United States these days. Freedom! But anyways, let's get back to the main subject here. Aside from, before I get to the main subject here, I want to give you an update what's going on with Metallicman. I have successfully moved and I'm living in boxes. For me to go to my office and back home, it's a 2-hour ride because I'm over at the other end of town. And so that cuts into my disposable time by about 4 hours a day. Plus, I'm very, very busy and active. Big time, big changes, and that's the way the cookie crumbles if you're doing affirmation campaigns. Okay? Don't freak out about it. There's content's going to be coming. I sent an article out today. It's a little bit on the light side, but at least I got something out. Now, let me go back and discuss about how Chinese is just playing the United States like a fiddle. Doesn't look that way, right? Doesn't look that way at all. It looks like another victory for America. Hoorah! That's what it looks like, right? Nope. That's not the case, people. And let me tell you why. Let's suppose that China or Russia or both decide to lay waste to the United States in a nuclear first strike salvo. Let's just suppose that scenario. And they do so when everybody is gathered, where everybody feels safe. So it's not in a war situation. It's not where there's buildup of conflicts. No, everybody just feels safe. News media is talking about monkeypox this and zebra pox that. They're talking about some other notable personalities joined the woke movement. All kinds of stuff's going on, but nobody's expecting a punch. And then out of the blue, when Congress is all gathered together for an important meeting, and all this stuff is going on, and everything's normal, status quo, nobody's concerned because, of course, China wouldn't do anything. The dragon strikes. The bear swipes. Whap! And fireballs engulf the entire continental United States. And Hawaii is gone. Guam is gone. Diego Garcia is gone. Okay? Let's look at that scenario. All of the American leadership is gone. Who's next in line? Who's next in line for the president when there's no president? Well, Speaker of the House. Well, the Speaker of the House happens to be in lockdown in China right now. So they can have legitimacy in the surrender terms of the collapsed United States. Of course, I'm not saying that's the plan. I'm not saying that that's what's going on. But I'm saying the puzzle pieces are right there. Contrary to what you might read in American and Western media, Taiwan is China. They speak Chinese. All the people around Nancy Poliski are saying, Lao, I E Shen Xing Bing, May God I E. And she doesn't know what the hell they're saying. They think that they are just talking in Chinese and doing whatever. She has no clue. The Chinese know everything that's going on in Taiwan. They've got their fingers in everything. It's an illusion to think that America has complete control of Taiwan. That's an illusion. They have complete control of the Taiwanese democracy. But polls show overwhelming support for reunification. On the order of 78 to 80-something% of the population want either the status quo, where they're part of China but independent, or a reunification with China. But you won't hear that because the democracy movement, the party that took over, banned all those opposition parties, just like in the Ukraine. Once America does a color revolution and takes over government, the first thing it does is get rid of the opposition. So that government now is legitimate, but bans all opposition. So that government stays there for a long, long time. That's what they're doing here. So the United States government has controlled the democracy in Taiwan, but doesn't control the Chinese people in Taiwan. In the game of geopolitics, Russia and China are masters. America is run by imbeciles and amateurs. Okay? Don't think that what you see and what the news is reporting is actually what's going on. Oh, sure, there's military war games and destroyers and battleships and carriers and all kinds of stuff going around, and there's all kinds of this and that and chatter and all kinds of things like that. Sure. That's not what's really going on, is it? You need to understand a little bit about Chinese history. Wars are all over the palace, but the king is being poisoned by a concubine. You have to understand how China plays. China doesn't want war, but it doesn't want to be bothered anymore, and it does want to be respected, and perhaps the only way to get respect from the United States is to destroy it. The impression that I get is like a giant dragon pulling off the wings of this tiny, tiny, irritating fly. That's what's going on. The propaganda campaign will be ratcheting up. It'll look like something out of the Ukraine. Those of you in the know realize that the Ukraine is the Ukraine conflict is under the control of Russia, and Russia is meeting all of its objectives, and Ukraine will cease to exist on Russia's timetable. And there's not a damn thing anybody can do about it. Those that try to oppose Russia in this are being starved and going to be frozen. And their industries will collapse. You want to see what's going to happen if there's a buildup against China? Same thing, only much worse. You see people, everything's made in China. Sure, it says made in Germany. It's made in China. How do I know? I ship stuff to Germany. And they put made in Germany on it. Okay? How do I know? I ship stuff to Korea. It says it's a wholly owned Korean company. It's made in China. Here's a piece of reel for you. A piece of reel. See this little gizmo? It's used in all the machines that make things. They use hydraulics and pneumatics for everything from putting bottles on cans, or bottles on bottles of beer and caps, to anything you can possibly think of. They use these gadgets. They're made all over the world, but the best ones are made in Korea by a company known as SMC. Can you see that? SMC there? Maybe you can't. Anyways, this is it. It's a nice precision little device. Little precision device. Okay, air hose goes in here, it screws into the machine. Reliable, good. It's made in China. Price to make this is about 5 pennies. 5 cents in America money. They sell it for $25 each. All the profit to this goes to the Korean company. So the Chinese company makes this thing, sells it for 5 cents. They get 1 penny for it. It's shipped over to Korea. Korea then ships it and says, made in Korea, 100% Korean manufacturer, and sells it to America for $25 each. And this is not just the only thing. It's not the only thing. It's everything. Every fucking thing. That's what it is. It's everything. So, sure, Korea could go ahead and start making it itself. They certainly make enough profit, right? But that's not the way. That's not the way the West works. If they have to make it themselves, they're going to increase the price from $25 each to $100 each. Meanwhile, China is still making these things. 5 cents. If you were a country in the world, Bangladesh, Zambia, Namibia, Algeria, who do you want the same part made from? If you can, you want it from the Korean company, but are you willing to pay the higher price? You willing to pay $100 for this damn thing? For 5 cents. And the President of the United States, whoever it will be, will say, tighten your belts because it's democracy! Yeah, that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to go down. So that's a dose of real for you guys. That's real. It's for everything. Solar panels, generator components, batteries, buttons on clothing, zippers. It's everything. And that's reality. That's the situation. So what I'm trying to say here is that you're going to be bombarded with all kinds of stuff about how great America is, and America really showed China this time, and rah, 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 and everybody's standing back for the Chinese response. When I am here telling you, China has America exactly where it wants it. It's under its thumb. You all have no idea what just happened, do you? And the implications of it. Think about the implications. China has now seized. Oh, sure, she can walk around and she has bodyguards. And she's in a friendly area for the United States. They have seized it. That whole area now is China. Chinese controlled. Don't let the media fool you otherwise. And she'll leave when China's ready to let her leave. When attempts might be made to get her out secretly, those will fail. And, but why? Why would China hold the number 3 in the spot of secession? Why indeed? These are things to think about, people. And of course, like all things MM, you're not going to see this anywhere else. You're not going to see it anywhere else. Everybody's going to be doing the same old bullshit. They're all going to be talking war, ships, battleships, flight statistics, oh, maybe nuclear war, blah, 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 blah. They're not talking about strategic geopolitics, chess games. They're not talking about that. But I am here, and I'm telling you what's going on. So I'm going to conclude here with this. America is fucked and has no clue how fucked it is. And that, people, is my point. In the meantime, all of you guys, please, it's a Solar Max. Things are kind of funky. Things are kind of crazy. It's going to last this way for a couple of years. Price is going to go crazy if you're in the West. Prices are really stable here in China. They hardly budge at all. But if you're in the West, I hear inflation's really bad. People are talking about $4 a gallon now, maybe $5 a gallon in places like the cities. They're saying things about this and that. So inflation's going to increase. But you're fortunate. The weather's conducive here to getting around. You won't be when your pipes are busting and you have no heat and there's rolling blackouts. That will not be good. Make adequate preparations. And I always advise a fine wood stove if you have the means. Now's the time for you to prep. By the way, a lot of prep websites are disappearing on YouTube. I don't understand why they're disappearing. They're just kind of like, one day they're here and then they don't exist anymore. That I don't understand. But in the meantime, please take all due care. Grow a garden. I know it's August right now, but it's never too late to plant a couple of things. So start taking care of that stuff. And if you don't have cords of wood stacked up for a wood burning stove, you better start doing it now. I hear that spam is under lock and key because It's disappearing very, very fast off the shelves. I suggest a lot of staples, especially ones with protein. I'm not saying that you're going to be starving. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that if push comes to shove and all you've got is some rice and some vegetables, a little bit of peanut butter or a can of tuna would really help make a meal. And at that, people, do your best. Help other people. Be part of a community. Because you know what? Well,
青春充满了不眠，是为了追寻更多的明天。好似无尽的灯节，从无分你我，照亮在心间，夜已沉在心无眠，再巨大的伤悲皆已成灰。如果清醒是种罪，就把誓言带走，换承诺不悔。如果你就是一切，如果我就是绝对，如果清醒是种罪，就让爱去蔓延，成全每个夜。伤悲搭配快乐的宣泄，如果清醒是种罪，你会不会面对将就的明天？如果你就是一切，如果我就是绝对，如果清醒是种罪，就让爱去蔓延，成全每个夜。激情的滋味，记住流泪的画面。如果清醒是种罪，就拿偏执的一切放弃无聊的称谓。如果你真是一切，